Hey, it's Neve, and in this video I'm going to share with you how to use LED lighting to light yourself at night for your night recording, your workshops and webinars, and anything that you want to record when you don't have access to good natural daylight. Now, I have shown you in other videos how you can use just your regular lights at home and strategically place them in order to have decent lighting when you don't have access to sunshine. But for several of us, there is a lot of difficulties in getting good artificial light that looks good and keeps a high production quality to your videos. When I decided I wanted to get something like some more serious equipment for my night recording was because I wanted to start a podcast with my good friend Jen Terrell, and we were finding that there was nowhere in my house that I had room for a decent setup to really get myself well lit, because with a 3-point lighting system you need to have things in strategic locations, and I was finding that my lighting just wasn't coming out the way I wanted it to. So I decided to invest in an LED light, and this is what I'm using now, and you'll see that it lights me very well, very evenly, and one of my favorite things about it is it doesn't take up a lot of space. So I'm going to show this to you now. It's also not terribly expensive. For me, the LED cost about $100, and then you also have to get a stand to hold it for you because the LED light doesn't, or at least the one that I got, doesn't come with a stand. But let me show it to you now. So first, what I want to do is show you what happens when I turn this off. So if I didn't have that light right now, this is what I would look like. Completely dark, which makes the whole video go very grainy, and I have this sort of light lighting the room behind me. That's actually the one downside I find with the LED light, is that sometimes it lights me really well but not the room really well. So if you want to light a whole room and you want to have a really professional looking lighting, you might want to go for a softbox. But let me show you my little LED light. So this is it. Actually, what I should do now is get you some natural daylight so you can see this. Okay, so that's now me in natural daylight, and the daylight in this room actually comes across quite harsh, which was another reason that I wanted to use this, so I can get a consistent look to my videos every time. Right now it's cloudy, and so that's why the light is a little overexposed. So this is the LED light. It has a whole bunch of bulbs. Let me actually show you. When I take off the diffuser, this is a diffuser. When I take off the diffuser, you can see that it's just rows upon rows of these little bulbs. Now, half of these bulbs are a white light, and half of these bulbs are a yellow light. And what that does is it allows me to change the warmth of the light. I can make it whiter, which makes it a lot brighter, or I can make it yellower, which makes it more natural, a little bit more like sunshine. I like to personally have this set to a fairly yellow coloring. So that's what the front of it looks like. This is the light as it comes, and it's got a little place here where you can put it onto a stand. So you do have to buy a stand. Now around the back, you'll see there's space for batteries if you wanted to take this on the go. It doesn't come with batteries. I just use the plug into the wall. And then there's also these dimmers here. So this dimmer here goes to the white light. So you'll see I have the white light set very low. I have it set actually so that these bulbs just turn on. And the yellow light here I have set a bit higher. So let me just show you, let's see how well you can see. If I turn this on, you're just going to see a big bunch of bright. There's a big bunch of bright. But if I lower that, now I've just turned off the white light, so you see how half of them turned off and the yellow lights are still on. Now let me turn off the yellow and turn on the white, and you'll see how the white is a lot brighter, right? And then the yellow is kind of yellowy. So I want to show you a little bit of what this looks like. Let me put the diffuser back on. So it does come with the diffuser. What the diffuser does is it diffuses the light, it softens it, so it doesn't come out too harsh. So let me just put this back on and close this down. So now we're back to darkness. I'm gonna see if I can set my yellows and my whites to how I want them to be set. Here, I'm adjusting it here, and then I'll go ahead and hang it on its stand. You can get a nice close-up of my chin. So you see that it actually comes out with a nice natural daylighty kind of light. Now how I set this up is I put it behind my camera and I set it so that there's several inches between the camera lens, like the level that the camera lens is at, and the light. I put it actually higher up than the camera, about a foot or so behind the camera, and then I tilt it downward. Now that will create some shadow, as you see, but the reason why I do that is because I'm very prone to headaches, and in particular migraines, and so I have to be very careful about looking directly into lights. What I find is that raising it up a little bit, I get this nice evenness on my face. I am getting a little shadow here. It's not the end of the world. People can still make good eye contact. And with the evenness, I also am able to have it on for hours, right? So if I'm recording podcasts or I'm giving a workshop, sometimes that's an hour and a half or 2 hours even of having this light pointed at me. And I find that it doesn't give me any headaches as long as I don't have it directly behind the camera so that my eyes aren't looking straight into it. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. So I will share a link or somewhere around this video, depending on where you're watching it. If you're watching it in the Light It Up membership area, you should find a more info button that will share the link for you with you for this. And if you're watching this in the Facebook group, I'll also make sure to share the link in the description of the video so that you can get the same kind of light I got, if that's what you want. So I find that I do really like this. I want to show you one last demo, which is, let's look at what it looks like when we turn the white up. So this is a more white light. I find it's like a bit too bright, but you know, so you can see a bit of shine and a bit of shine on my face. It's not really a big deal, but I find that it's quite bright. I feel like it's a little overwhelming. And then if we turn that down and turn the yellow up, you'll see, so this is yellow only, and I find that it's warmer, but it's almost it's a little too yellow. So I like to have a nice balance between the two, but you can play with those two dimmer switches if you have this light and see what suits you and what suits your space. So don't forget to make sure you have something to light the room behind you, preferably some kind of overhead light or something that lights the room behind you so that it's not just this floating bright face in darkness, although that works fine too, as long as people can see you. Okay, so that's the using an LED light to light you at night. I hope this has enlightened you. And do check out the description to see the specific LED light that I am using. However, many LED lights or variations of this do work. Don't forget, if you're buying the one that I bought, you also need to get a stand to go with it. All right, thanks so much for watching. See you in another video.